This next one sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Ali Sabagi in Mashhad, Iran.
Well, now, wait a minute. So Ali from Meshuggah has written this question. What is it?
Hello, Jim. Hope you read this and answer my question. My question is, who is the better man between AJ Styles and CM Punk? Who had the bigger impact and who was the better wrestler? In my opinion, it's CM Punk. He was the most over guy WWE had in recent years. And even after he left, fans never gave up on him. He had so many great matches and great promos. What do you think? Thank you, bye.
No, fuck you in there, eh? Okay, well, read the first line, the first line of the question.
And again, let's understand there may be a little bit of a language barrier here.
Well, yes, I know, but I'm just saying let's get back to the meat of the matter, the way the question was phrased. Read the first line of the question. I will comment.
Who is the better man between AJ Styles and CM Punk?
And that's, second language, but who's the better wrestler? Or who's the better star? What? See, that's an open-ended question. What are you looking for? As far as technical wrestling, I think CM Punk would probably admit that AJ Styles is a phenomenal athlete. The springboards and the balance and the drop kicks and that flying phenomenal forearm and the dives and, his physical conditioning. Yeah, AJ would be ahead of Punk in that category, probably by a good bit. Having said that, everybody remembers Punk's pipe bomb promo, but CM Punk is quite a wordsmith. AJ Styles has never had the reputation as being a world-class orator. If you put AJ Styles on a fucking soapbox in the middle of the town square in merry old England, do you think he'd draw a bigger crowd than CM Punk? Verbally? Probably not. Are you talking about who achieved the higher level in the WWF? Because they've both worked there. AJ was used more consistently as a main event guy in TNA than Punk was really used for a longer period of time in WWF's a main event guy, but it was TNA. So Punk achieved more success being over on his own as a single in the WWE than AJ did. Does that make him a better wrestler, or does that make him a better personality, or does that just mean that they pushed him better and his booking was better? All of these things have to be taken into play. AJ Styles was never in a position where he could quit if he didn't get the main event at WrestleMania and be able to tell the son-in-law, I don't have to work with you, you need to work with me. Not that AJ would probably ever come up with that witty of a line to begin with anyway. So it just depends on what you're looking for. There's really no clear-cut answer. Punk had more success as a single wrestler when business was stronger in a spot on top in the WWE than AJ did. AJ was definitely a main event wrestler in some company for a longer uninterrupted period of time than Punk was. A lot of that time was spent in Impact. So that's got to factor in, because that's like being the nicest guy in prison. You're a star in Monogram Studios. There's no comparison between really the athleticism of AJ and Punk. AJ gets that. There's no comparison really in verbal abilities. Punk gets that. And as far as who was the best professional wrestler as worker, as psychologically, I think Punk got more fucking mileage out of less, because AJ, he had to have those long athletic matches, whereas Punk was able to work and draw money with in shorter WWE style pay-per-view matches against the top workers that wasn't going to be doing fucking dives and topes and have a coronas and things.
Does that make Punk the smarter worker?
Probably. But not really. Because AJ was smart enough to know, look, he's 5'7", and at his size, he had to do that stuff or he was never going to get the chance. So it's not, and also AJ is one of those guys that he never did shit that was reckless or dangerous, except maybe to himself. He's got that weird ability to figure that shit in to where it doesn't look like just a bunch of fucking high school cheerleaders. So he had to do a lot more stuff at his size to get noticed and etc. So it may make Punk a smarter worker, but it's not like AJ was going to get the opportunity to work like Dick the Bruiser and be on top.
In terms of bigger overall star, would you say it's CM Punk?
Yeah. Just because he was on top when there was still, the WWF had twice as many viewers as they have today, and AJ was still in TNA where they had twice as many viewers and 5 times as many viewers as they have today, and still didn't have half of WWF's.
All right. Well, Jim.
This is math. I'm not knocking either guy when I say that. When you're the star of a television program that's being watched by 4 million people every week, you're a bigger star than a star of the television program that 1.5 million are watching. Isn't that kind of the way it goes?